Hello there, my name is Tim.
And I'm Rebecca.
And we are
the Shitty Movie Reviewers.
Today we watched the movie The Fanatic. It came out in 2019, and it stars John Travolta and Devon Sawa.
Ooh.
And it did, in fact, live up to all the hype that I've heard about it.
Oh, yeah, you have to mention who the director is.
That's right.
And writer.
The director and writer of this brilliant movie is Fred Durst.
The one and only.
The one and only Fred Durst. That you heard that correctly. The lead singer of Limp Bizkit wrote and directed this movie. And it starts out with this awesome quote, which Rebecca's going to fill us in on.
You are a fan. Without you, I am nothing. By Hunter Dunbar.
And who is Hunter Dunbar?
I mean, I thought it was a famous person for
Me
sure
too.
Because they quoted it.
I even wrote down the name. I'm like, Hunter, oh, I gotta look that up. And nope, that is just...
Gotta make sure to find out who that Hunter Dunbar is. Oh, it's Devon Sawa.
It is Devon Sawa's character, Hunter Dunbar. And John Travolta's character, his name is Moose.
It starts out with a voiceover of some person that we don't know. It's a girl voice, and she's talking about LA and how...
And what a shithole it is.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like it's the city of bullshitters.
And it just shows a whole bunch of scenes of like people living on the street, you know, right under the glitz of the Hollywood sign.
Yep, and then entree, John Travolta, aka Moose, on his scooter.
On his
popping
scooter.
Some mean wheelies and shit.
One of his best toupees, in my opinion, of his career. He's got the little mullet in the back.
Oh yeah, it's like a bowl cut on top. That's
bowl
like
cut on top with perfect those like that straight line bangs.
Yeah, well, you know, you put a bowl on your head, you're gonna get a straight line.
Yeah. But I think it's one of his best toupees of the past 20 years, easily. Right? And where is Moose headed on this moped of his?
He's headed to a memorabilia shop because that's what Moose is all about. He's big into LA, big into acting, big into autographs.
Yep, loves the action movies. Apparently our star, Hunter Dunbar, is a huge action movie star.
Well, they never really explain.
Yeah.
They're like, he's an actor.
That's one of the many things left open in this movie is what kind of an actor is he? Is he a good actor? Is he a bad actor?
Is he
we don't know.
Like, does he do B films? Is he an A-lister?
Yeah, that's unanswered. It's left up to you.
There's a lot left up to you in this movie. Especially, okay, so Moose himself is living with autism, and they never mention it once throughout the film.
No,
right?
I had to look that up online to find out if he did in fact suffer from mental illness.
Yeah.
And it does turn out, well, the internet said it was autism. The
Yes.
movie never does.
I remember reading quite a few articles about it and how it let down people with autism.
Well, yeah, if they saw the movie, it would have let me down too. But anyway, yeah, so he's headed towards this Hollywood memorabilia spot where apparently he goes quite often because he's on a first name basis with the owner.
Yeah, and he seems like a relatively nice man, except for the fact that you do see later when he's trying to sell him some stuff that he is kind of... I mean, it seems like he's doing him a favor, but you don't really know. It's like he's... Okay, so Moose is in there, he's talking to the owner, and the owner asks him what he's up to, and Moose is super excited. He's like, I'm going to the Hunter Dunbar party for his newest movie.
Latest release, yep.
And he's like extremely serious about this. He's like, I love him. The owner also lets him in on the news that he's about to have a signing with Hunter Dunbar.
Right there in the store.
Yes, very exciting. And Moose loses his shit a little bit, like, how the hell? Why wouldn't you tell me this right away?
Right, his favorite star in the world, and he hasn't. This is the first time he's hearing about this information, so obviously he's got to be there.
Yes, and then they start talking about what he could possibly bring to get signed, and he's like, well, I'll bring a poster, and the owner's like, ugh, that's so cliche.
And he whips out this vest that he apparently wore in one of his movies.
It's like a pleather black vest with like diamond stones on the back that say Rico.
We assume, again, we were not really sure what it is, so we just assume it's one of the characters that he played.
Yes.
And so he wants him to get this jacket. Where's he going to sign a black leather jacket?
I don't know. He like doesn't even bring like a silver pen or anything when he goes to get it signed. But anyway,
I think he brings a pen, like a little pen.
It's like a Sharpie, but but not one of those like paint Sharpies that could write in silver or something on there. But No. Anyway, so the shop owner's like, well, I can't let this go for like less than $800. And Moose is like, I'm a broke motherfucker. And he's like, all right, well, for you, Moose, my favorite.
Got a heart of gold, this one.
I will let it go for the $300 that you said you just had.
Right.
Like, I only have $300 to my name at all. So.
Well, wouldn't you know, I'd drop it down to that price just for you.
Just for you.
Thanks, buddy.
But he did tell him he could get it to him by the end of the year. So.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still a pretty nice thing to do,
good.
I guess.
Pretty good. Yep.
For a memorabilia store.
Then we actually do get to meet the narrator of the story, this girl, Leah.
Well, first they show him going to
His apartment
wearing the thing, and he's getting ready. He's talking to himself in the mirror, getting himself amped up to meet Hunter.
Psyched up.
Yeah, he's like, you got this, man. You got this. And so then they show him.
His apartment is like covered in just
memorabilia.
I don't think they never showed the floor.
He might have had some money, but he spent it all on his memorabilia.
Right.
But so they show him walking towards some shadowy figure in an alley towards this party. You hear the music or whatever. They show the voiceover person who is Leah, his BFF.
Yeah, again, this character we never understand how they're friends, how they became friends, where she comes from.
They do zero background on these people.
And she narrates his story. I don't
we don't know any of these people. We don't know anything about them, who they are, what they're doing here together.
Yeah, all we know is she's there and she's gonna help him break into this party.
Yeah, she's like, did you bring the bolt cutters? And he's like, oh yeah. He whips out a pair of scissors.
Yeah, and what?
I'm like, why would you have him bring the bolt cutters?
Bolt cutters, yeah, exactly.
And also,
I was hoping that was a joke, but I don't think it was.
I don't think so. I mean, she really wanted him to get bolt cutters, but anyway, I mean, whatever.
Then she just essentially throws him over the fence.
Yeah,
and boom, he's in.
She's like, here, I want you to put your body into my hands, and I'll help you get over. Sure.
Yeah, John Travolta, 6'2", like 300 pounds. Yeah, and she's like 5 foot. 90
she's pounds. Like a tiny little sprite who's trying to get this guy over the fence. Anyway, it works.
Yeah, he makes it over the fence somehow. There's no, I guess the back door is
he's
just
like, am
wide
I okay?
open.
Am I okay?
Yeah, that was in he's asking himself if he's okay. He was more worried about his shirt, because that was a new shirt he bought.
It was a brand new shirt.
With all
was
his
favorite,
on it,
Yeah. So anyway, he makes it into the party. They just show him walking. They don't show how he got into the party. They just show him.
All he needed to do
They cut from the trash scene to him inside the house, walking around.
And the place does have security, but...
And then they show Leah in there. I guess she came in through the front door.
Yeah, so we find out that she's like a paparazzi type person. It's like, why can't you just let him in?
That's what I'm saying. They could have walked in together.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he could have been your photography assistant for all they know.
Yeah.
No. So he goes up to the bartender. The bartender asks him if he wants anything. And he's like, I'll take a milkshake, please. Real ice cream.
No, we don't serve that kind of stuff.
Sir, this is a Wendy's. Oh wait, they would have a milkshake at Wendy's.
Yeah.
Damn it.
God, Rebecca.
That was a flop of a joke.
God. Cut.
Anyway, so he sees this actress that he really likes, named Amanda.
Yeah, and she's just a throwaway character. He's like completely enamored with her. We know nothing about her.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much just to show that he gets like really amped up in front of these actors. Like he can't compose himself. Right. He's just super excited to see her. He's telling her that she's a great actress. He loves every single one of her films, and that she should do more horror films because she's a great final girl. And I love that term so much.
He wants her autograph, so he starts digging around in the backpack.
Yeah, he takes off his little backpack and starts digging around.
And that's finally when the security of the place is like, hey, this guy doesn't quite fit in with the rest of the...
The bouncer did not like that backpack idea, so he's like, hey man, no.
Yeah, he didn't quite mix in with the rest of the Hollywood celebrity people.
Yeah, so they show him getting dragged out, and then they just sort of let that scene go and cut to him getting dressed and going to his job.
His day job, which is a cosplay dude.
He's a street performer. Yeah, which that's a good job in LA, I think.
Oh, I'm sure they get paid a lot of money. Actually,
yeah. I mean, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't, because apparently he sucks at it. Even though the costume was good. I mean, his costume is better than his regular clothes. His costume didn't look that bad. People coming up to him. but I mean, again, that's kind of just a part of the story that's just like, yeah.
So he's a street performer, but they show that there's another street performer on his same street there, obviously. And he's an illusionist named Todd.
And tell what his illusion is, though.
Oh, okay, so they show this guy, he's wearing his black wife beater, obviously. He's like the cool guy, and he has a bright, shiny gold nail. He's like, somebody come test this nail. And so somebody goes up there and they test it to see if it's real. It's a real nail. And his trick...
This is the magic trick, huh?
Illusion, Michael.
Trick is something a whore does for money.
...is to shove the nail through his septum.
Yeah, it's gross.
I'm like, that's a fantastic illusion that you're doing there. But people really took a shining to it. They really liked that illusion.
But meanwhile, while they're all being dazzled by this illusionist, this thug named Todd, he has a partner in crime that's apparently pickpocketing people from all over the crowd.
Yes, and apparently this crowd is packing some cash because he pulls a giant stack of cash out of some random person's pocket. And
I still don't get what that means. I still don't understand. Like
it's before they start tipping him too. Yeah. It's like, why wouldn't you wait till after they tipped? You know, it's like wait till they pull the cash out.
Because then they would realize that they were pickpocketed.
Yeah, that's
they would
what
be
I'm
like,
saying.
oh, so that part makes no sense.
It makes
the
no sense.
Unfolded
None
stack
of this movie
bills.
makes any sense. Okay.
And then you see the money get. Then they tip. Then the two thugs, Todd and thug number 2,
which we didn't catch the name of.
No,
sorry.
They divvy up
I know
the
they
money.
say it at one
and
point.
it only seems like after all this money is exchanged, that thug number 2 is apparently pocketing it all and only gives him like a one bill.
It's hard to say what's going on there because the movie just is so inconsistent.
Yeah, because then it just moves on to Todd trying to approach Moose, and he wants Moose as his partner.
Yeah, so the guy gets pissed off and quits or something, or gets fired, and so Todd approaches Moose to try and get him to be his little pickpocket buddy. Yeah. And Moose is not about it. He's like, I respect Hollywood. You don't respect Hollywood. And then that scene's over. And we're at the book signing. Woohoo!
Yeah, the creepy book signing.
And so...
How many people would you say there is? About like 10 people?
What, in the store?
In the store, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a lot of people, but...
So it still doesn't give us any gauge on how much
really
of a
don't know.
star
I mean, there could be
Hunter
people
is.
out the door. We don't know. We don't ever really see the door.
Know.
But, okay, so we see Moose waiting in line to meet Hunter, and he locks eyes with him in his mind. I really don't think it's real because it's, like, all black in the background, and it's just, like, Devon Sawa sitting there with a light shining on him, making him look like a little angel.
Yeah,
you know, he's got a spotlight on him. And
they lock eyes, and Devon Sawa's just like, hey, man, what's up?
Yeah.
And he just kind of waves him over.
He's just so friendly.
Oh, yeah, he's like, and of course, Moose is like, he's very excited. He starts to move, and then boom.
Yeah, I mean, he's like right about to get his autograph. Like, it's going so well. He's right up to the front. And
just like the nail through the nose, it's all an illusion.
Illusions, Dad! You don't have time for my illusion!
Because the Hollywood memorabilia guy comes out and steals Hunter away from the table.
Yeah, he says some broad outside.
Some broad with some kids outside waiting for you. I don't know. Why don't you get on out there and Hunter takes off.
Yeah, poor Moose's dreams are dashed right then. Yep. So he they show Hunter go out to talk to his ex, and she's like, I have a date tonight. Screw your job.
She's like, just shows up with the kid, Yeah,
well, I mean, I guess he did say he would babysit. I mean, not babysit, he's the kid's dad. Yeah. But he did say he would take the kid, and but he's clearly at work.
But yeah, he is doing his job.
He's in the middle of working, and this lady expects him to just leave and take the kid.
Yeah, because then ultimately she ends up just leaving anyway.
Yeah, she just takes off with the kid, and
but before that though, Moose
comes out. He decides to interject.
Yeah, and this when we really get to see what Hunter's true personality is about. I mean, yeah, he is a movie star, and Moose is coming up to him. He is kind
of like a creepy, imposing character who's all up in Hunter's business. So I can understand where he's coming from.
But Hunter also definitely demonstrates he doesn't want any part of this kind of crap, and
yeah, I mean, he's really not in it for the
fame.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he is, but he's tired tired.
Yeah.
You can tell he's tired of it.
Yeah, because he's been around for a while. I mean,
Yeah.
it is Devon, so I mean,
he's a
Idle
child
Hands
actor.
was a long time ago. But
So I came all the way over here. You said you was holding.
I didn't say what I was holding.
anyway, yeah, that whole confrontation.
Yeah, so they show Hunter kind of go off on Moose because Moose is like, I'm on your side, man, blah, blah, blah. He's like,
Yeah, he gets very emotional
and he's
about
like
it.
trying to get him to sign his stuff. He's like, man, come on. If he had just waited in line, he probably would have come back and got his thing signed. But
Does he actually go back in there? Or
he
that's
did.
it?
He went back into the...
Yeah, that's what I thought. But
Yeah.
then by this point, Moose is already like...
Yeah. So he ends up getting in kind of scuffle. Hunter's like, go the fuck away, bitch,
Right.
pretty much. And then so that scene's over when Hunter goes inside.
Yeah, he gets the
He doesn't-
sign an autograph
yeah.
or something.
Yeah, which, damn it, Moose.
Right? All he had to do was wait 5 minutes.
Yeah,
No.
but no, he couldn't do it. So after that, they show
He's in the
they
back
show
with,
Moose with Leah, and
Yeah.
he's trying to figure out how to find Star's houses, and by that I mean he's trying to figure out where Hunter lives so he can.
And this is also when we were kind of confused because we're back to Moose's apartment, and this girl is just there. And it,
Yeah, I mean she's just like in his apartment,
Yeah,
and
so-
so we don't know if she lives there. I mean, we find out later that she does not in fact live there, but
it's so
it's
ill-defined.
so confusing.
yeah, it's like, are they roommates? How did they meet? But
They just don't explain any.
And-
they don't have any backstory on any of these characters.
no, and ultimately it doesn't matter because it,
I mean,
it doesn't lead.
it
to
matters to me because it just leaves you so lost throughout the whole film about
Yeah.
what the hell's going on.
But yeah, so he wants to find
Yeah, so
how
she-
to find these people, and she introduces
shows him
to
like
an
a
app.
app. Yeah.
That literally guides you right to their front door.
Because she's a paparazzi, so she needs to be able to find where people live and be like the scum of the earth that's
Yeah.
just like surrounding their homes.
So of course Moose does this and does exactly what he thinks he's gonna do with it.
Yeah. He was very excited though. I mean, he found so many famous people's houses, but that wasn't what he
Right.
was really looking for.
Nope,
he was
nope.
looking for Hunter.
Mr. Hunter.
And so he's like, they show him writing a letter. I mean, at first he's trying to apologize for
Yeah.
freaking him out. And then
it kind of turns into a, well, you shouldn't have treated me that way. I'm a fan,
Yeah.
and we're what counts. We're what make you.
without us, you're nothing.
Yes,
and,
yep.
And he's, I mean, it's pretty heartfelt still, but it's still a scolding. He's like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give him the what for in the nicest way I can think of. So, they show him after that, like, looming around Hunter's place. He actually finds it.
Yep, right up to the front
He's
door.
just like walking
Well,
up there. He
front
didn't
gate.
take his scooter this time. He just walked up there.
Yeah, that was another weird one. He walked all that way.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe he parked it somewhere, but
That's true. Like you said, it could have been like a gated community,
Yeah.
but then you would assume that a Hollywood gated community would also have a security guard. But whatever.
I mean, you would assume a lot of things about this
Yeah,
movie that
it's
didn't
just kinda
happen. That
left
don't
your
make sense.
imagination.
He finds his house, and right as he finds his house, and he's trying to like figure out a way in there, Hunter runs up on him with it, and his son's like riding his bike right
Yep.
next to him. And so, of course, yeah, obviously, I'd be freaked out too.
Yeah, you find some stranger like that you've already had one confrontation with. Now he's standing at your gate, and he's already. And as soon as they lock eyes, he's already acting weird. So yeah,
Yeah,
Hunter
so-
has every right to act like what are you doing here?
Yeah, he's like, why are you here?
Yeah.
Don't ever come here again. Get the hell out of here. He tries to give him the letter that he wrote him, and Hunter's like,
I
go
don't-
fuck yourself.
I don't take mail here.
He's like, why don't you leave? I'm like, you need to get out of here. And he basically just he's real mean. Honestly, if Hunter had just given him the fucking autograph,
Moose would have been
Moose
happy
would have
and
gone
would've
on
went
his way and like left him alone. But
But
like,
nope, yeah.
but I
You
understand where he's coming from. But it all could have just been solved so easily.
Yeah.
It just
You just had to give.
all he had to do was give him a fucking autograph. But I get it. I'm like, if I feel like somebody's invading my space.
Oh yeah, especially like somebody that you already had
And
a
I
fight
have a
with.
kid there.
Yeah, your small
Yeah.
son.
Signs his shirt, but I don't know what he writes on it. He just like jabs the pen
I think he
into
does
him.
put Hunter, but it's just like
I mean, that
big-
should have been good enough for Moose then. But
that would have been. It should have been.
he like jabbed it into it. I thought he was stabbing him.
So did I at first. But then you figured the way Moose is, he probably would have never washed his chest again if the ink went on his chest.
No, it was
would've
directly
run
on the shirt. Yeah. But so anyway, then they cut to a different scene. Like he leaves there. And then they cut to him back at work. Like, they show him at work quite a few times, which I think is kind of neat. They show that he actually is out there trying to make money and stuff. But, okay, so he's at work, and then he goes to the bathroom or some crap. And the two little scumbag street performers are...
Thug number 2.
Yeah, and unnamed Thug number 2.
Yeah, and Thug number 2 is back. We thought he got fired after the first.
Yeah, but apparently these two stick together.
No.
So they pretty much attack him. They're like making fun of him. They're like getting real up in his space and
then making fun of the amount of money he makes.
Oh
like,
yeah.
You made this, and it's like, well, you only made in the last scene we saw you, even though your friend pickpocketed like thousands of dollars. You only got $1 out of that. So what are you making fun of? But whatever.
Loser.
So he's being bullied by these guys. Luckily, there's a security guard.
Kindly old security guard
that breaks things up.
Yeah, he's and he tells Moose, he's like, why do you let them treat you like that? Like, you gotta stand up for yourself. You gotta fight back.
Fight back.
You know, at first you don't think that's gonna do anything, but so going back to Hunter's place.
Back to the house.
And he actually breaks the berry this time. He scales the fence, and he's just like wandering around the backyard garden. And he gets caught by the maid. Like, she's pounding on the window like, hey, fucker, what are you doing out there? Get out of here. And
that was another, like, I love that scene when she comes out. And she's like, what she was gonna scare Moose away with looks like she's holding an Academy Award.
She was gonna try to bludgeon him.
Yeah, with an Academy
Award.
You know? Like, Hunter doesn't have these things like locked up and like all these prestigious awards.
I mean, if you're famous, I doubt awards really mean too much, you know?
But I don't know, I just thought it was so funny that she comes running out of the house with one of the Academy Awards.
She just grabbed the first thing she could find. It was just chilling in the kitchen there with her, you know? She's in there wiping off the counters, and it's just chilling on the breakfast table, I guess. I don't know.
Might as well.
He uses it as the centerpiece.
He gets frightened by her. She scares him away. He drops the letter.
Yes, in the garden.
In what looked like a big pile of poop.
I don't know. I mean, when he got in there, he sees like that the garden is actually in some kind of disarray. Like,
yeah.
But, like, okay, so they show later that Hunter has a gardener, so why the fuck is all of his shit dead? Like, it really bothers Moose that there's, like, a pot with, like, a dead rose in it.
That's right, yeah.
And so, like, why is that rose dead? What the fuck is this gardener doing back there? But anyway,
well, I mean, in hindsight, I mean, the gardener also didn't notice,
well, let's not talk about that yet. Anyway, so, I mean, he did notice it. That's how the whole thing happened. Anyway.
Well, we assume he's the one.
He's there with the...
Yeah, but...
Alright, we gotta talk about this later.
It's just another one of those things that makes no sense when you just think about it.
Anyway.
So don't think. If you want to enjoy this movie...
I mean, you really can't, or else you will, like... You will throw your shit down and get pissed off at how little sense this movie makes. Anyway.
That's why these scenes are missing from my notes, because that's exactly what
Alright,
happened.
so he goes to a restaurant to meet up with Leah and tells her about what he was doing, that he was able to find Hunter's address and go there. And she's like, what? No, that's not why I gave you that app. She's like, you're weird. Don't do that again. And he's like, I'm not weird, blah, blah, blah. And he gets kind of pissed off at what she's saying, and he storms off. And then Todd, this guy, is just hanging around every corner trying to get he's trying to get Moose to be. He's always trying to get him to work for him. He's like,
the last scene we see him there,
it almost like he likes him.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, the last scene we see him, he's practically beating him up, humiliating him in the restroom. Now again,
he's like, hey man, you gotta come work for me. I need this money for these drugs.
Because once again, Thug number 2 has been fired, I guess. He's gone.
I don't know.
But
he's just out there again, I guess. And the guy's just like all up in his face. He's like,
he's threatening him and all this crap.
And Moose fucking snaps on him because of what the security guard told him.
And he chokes the shit out of this dude.
And he chokes him. Like, you think that he's gonna kill him.
And this is another very, very bizarre scene because I mean, first of all he's choking this guy in public, right on the street. And I mean, it's not
LA.
And it's not. Yeah, I guess you could just say
LA.
it's LA. But I mean, he's choking this guy hardcore, and then once he lets him go, the guy's just like, "Yeah, that's what I thought, man," and he just like rubs his throat and kind of walks.
And I'm pretty sure that's the last time we see him.
Yeah, it is. And then the security guard is there from the night before too. It's
he's
like,
also hanging around every corner apparently.
and he's still in a security guard outfit.
Well, yeah, I mean,
in the middle of the street, he guards the bathroom during the nighttime. And during the day, he patrols the street in a security outfit.
I mean, I'm not sure how security works in LA. Is he for the block? Is he security for the block? Like, I don't get it. I don't understand.
In public, it would be the police, not security.
Yeah. Maybe he just got off or he was on his lunch break.
Who
the fuck knows? It's so random.
Yeah, and again, it's almost like...
And it's another person that they don't even explain how he knows. I mean,
does Moose know the security guard? Like, it seemed like they were familiar, but...
Yeah, I mean, he obviously knows him because he knows him by name.
Yeah, but...
I mean, Moose
why?
knows... the security knows Moose by name. I don't know if he knows the security guard's name. I don't think he ever uses the name. Yeah, I mean, they just show him. I don't remember what happened because me and Tim got into a disagreement over this part.
Because it makes no sense. There's so many holes in it. It's just so many holes. It's just like, what? Because they said this movie has to be an hour and a half. We have no
We can't
time
set anything up. It's all just got to be
any
totally
backstory
random.
whatsoever. Yeah.
It's all got to be totally random. So,
So, yeah, this is where my notes kind of blank out for a couple pages.
Yeah. They show a scene with Hunter and the maid. And the maid is telling him that there's some creepy dude hanging out outside of the house and that she was really scared about it. And then they show that Hunter and her...
Hunter puts the moves Arnold Schwarzenegger style on his maid.
Get to the chopper!
Yes, he kisses it. He goes in for the kiss and she's like, "Ooh, I don't know if we should be doing this again.
So obviously Hunter's been doing this a lot. And then she rebuffs him. She's like, no.
Yeah, she's like, no.
And then of course after his sexual misconduct, he says, hey, you're doing a great job.
Yes.
You're doing a great job.
Yes, that's exactly right. And so he goes outside, and he's all out of breath and sweaty for some reason, but he's talking to the gardener. He's like, hey man, if you see any creepy dudes hanging around the yard, let me know.
And here's another part that is for those who give a shit about paying attention. The note that he dropped, Moose, is still in the yard.
Yes, but the gardener hasn't found it.
The gardener hasn't found it in the very area where he was the previous day. And now it's raining.
Well, let's not let logic get in the way of this.
There is no logic. Alright, so he tells the guard, hey, be on the lookout, blah,
it's
blah,
not
blah.
a guard, it's a gardener.
The gardener.
Yeah. I'm like, he comes out, the gardener's listening to his music. He's like, you gotta listen to me, man. It's like, well, did you not see that I had earbuds in, dude? I'm a gardener, okay? So after that scene, Moose gets caught by they cut to him leaving, I guess, and Moose gets caught again in the yard by the maid. Yeah. And she's out beating carpet or something. And when she sees him, she runs out to try to chase this guy off. And she starts attacking him with the carpet beater. He's getting real pissed off about it. And he pushes her by the face. He gives her I don't know, what would you call that? It's not an uppercut because he's using the palm of his hand.
Yeah, but he gets her right in the nose.
Yeah, he gets her in the nose and she falls back and hits her head on the bird bath.
Yep, and guess what? She's dead.
She didn't look too good.
No.
It did not look too good.
No.
So, of course, Moose is like, all right, well, moving on. Let's get into that house. So he goes in and he's just checking out all of the stuff. He's going through Hunter's fridge.
He's totally comfortable in the house. He's going through everything, and then
he's looking at his wards, and then he goes into the bathroom and he's
bathroom scene.
Brushing his... it looks like he took a shit in the toilet. He's coming out with...
poop, and as he's
reading
taking a poop,
script.
He's reading a script that he does not like, by the way.
He's not about it.
He did not like that
this
script.
is no good. And then they show him use a toothbrush to brush his teeth from the bathroom. And we don't know... it's kind of weird. Anyway, so, he's brushing his teeth, and then all of a sudden Hunter gets home, and he's in his bedroom, and it shows that Moose hid in the closet. Oddly enough, somehow he hid in the closet, and they show Devon, Sawa, Hunter.
What are you guys like flesh-eating zombies, back from hell, ready to exact revenge? Is that it?
Going through his closet to like get freshened up or whatever, and he's on the phone with his agent or something.
He's right there though, and
yeah, I mean, he's like, you could see his eyes staring from the closet. I mean, I don't know, like they specifically did a part where Devon saw his.
Hey, I didn't kill anybody on purpose, okay?
Standing right in front of it, but he's like pinching his eyes.
But it's also way out of character from Moose, I think. I don't think he would have been able to contain his excitement.
I think he would have, because he was scared to get caught at that point.
I don't think he's even aware that he's in trouble.
But anyway, so after that, after he's done talking to his agent or whatever, they go to another scene where he's helping his kid get. I mean, it looks like he's getting dressed to go out, but then it cuts to a scene with him and his son where he's having his son brush his teeth and talking about how the mom doesn't have him brush his teeth.
Yeah, and
I'm
again,
like,
it's
well, that's funny. That's kind of fucked up.
And it's like, is it the next day? Is it the
I don't know. They don't really explain
No.
how much time has really passed. To me, it just seems like it's the same night, but it really doesn't make sense that it looked like he was getting dressed to go out. But because they cut to the next scene, you really don't know what amount of time has passed. So.
And apparently in this giant mansion, they only have one restroom.
They share
kind of odd.
They share the bathroom. So they show the toothbrush scene, and it leads you to believe that
it was the kid's toothbrush.
That it was the kid.
Yeah, it was the little kid. Yep, he's tasting some moose.
God. Anyway, so then he's putting his kid to bed, and you see that Moose is actually under the bed. And it's really creepy.
And again, it's like,
I really thought that was going to lead somewhere as far as like the kid goes and like something under the bed, but like it didn't. It just didn't. Well, so he's under the kid's bed, and then he turns off the light, and then they cut to Hunter downstairs asleep, or not asleep. He's passed out. He like drank. He had 2 beers and a couple of pills.
He looked like he had 2 beers.
He got 2 beers and a couple of pills.
And he's passed the fuck out.
Yep, and Moose is like super psyched about this. He's like, oh my god, I'm so close to him.
He starts taking like selfies of him, and he gets
he
like,
drops
way
his
up.
phone on the guy's chest, and the dude doesn't wake up.
He doesn't wake up.
So it goes to show like how fucked up this guy got. Like he really is like out.
And how brave Moose is, because Moose, he's not even phased by it. He's like, oh, I dropped my. He like kind of hangs back.
I mean, he does get scared at first, and then he's like, okay, well, he didn't wake up, so I can go get it now.
Yeah, then he proceeds to fall asleep on the couch next to him.
Yeah, I mean, he covers him up. He's like being a really nice house guest and covering up Hunter with a blanket, and then he sits down and decides to, watch some TV, and then he gets sleepy and takes a little nap, and then you wake up to Hunter's alarm going off, and it really takes him a long time to wake up to that alarm too. Enough time for Moose to wake up and get the fuck out of there.
But Hunter, no, not so much.
Yes, so that
he's
is when they show Devon, Sawa. They show Hunter and his kid driving in the car, and
the radio's playing, and this is where the true genius of Fred Durst comes in, because
he's like, "Hey, have you ever heard Limp Bizkit?"
And of course the kid is like, "No."
He's like, "Of course not. I'm 12."
10. And Limp Bizkit came out around Final Destination. So
anyway, I mean, I love Limp Bizkit. I'm like, I'm a loser, okay? Anyway, so, but he puts on a song. He's like, you ever heard this shit? And it's like, I've never heard that shit.
I've never heard that Limp Bizkit song.
That is a song I never, and I don't know if it has something to do with, like, not owning the rights, if Fred Durst doesn't own the rights.
I really wanted to know that, but we couldn't figure it out. But yeah, you would assume if he's gonna plug his own shitty music, he would have played at least a song that you would have recognized.
Like, it was a song I'd never heard by them. Like, anyway, so as they're like just jamming to these dope beats, they show him driving up on Moose. Moose is just chilling in the street by his house again.
After his B&E, he's just casually walking home.
Yes. And you know what? I think that's when the signing thing happened. I think that's when he jabbed the pen into him. He's
it might have been,
Can you just give me this autograph? And he's like, no, fuck you stalker. And he like jabs, he's like, yeah, I'll give you an autograph.
Yeah, because that's when everything kind of like, whole
that's
mood
when
in the
there's
movie
a
changes.
tone change.
Oh, yeah.
You see Moose slowly slipping into madness.
He's gone mad! We all go a little mad sometimes.
He's like, you're not nice.
Yeah, and he's mad, and then
Which it really
crashes
it actually
his moped.
It like really hurts my feelings to see an autistic person going through something like this. I feel like they really did a shitty job at just like, I don't know. It made me feel bad. I'm like, because you really do kind of feel bad for. I think that John Travolta did a really good job playing the character. I just think that it was
badly written.
It's just a badly written film. That's all. Unlike all the other characters, kind of suck. They have no like depth to them.
No, not at all.
But John Travolta actually did a really good job.
Especially
this character.
the girl, the Leah. It's like they're supposed to be BFFs, but I
honestly, really don't see any connection between the two.
I honestly thought they were gonna go the route that she didn't exist. Like I thought they were gonna be like, oh, she's just an imagination. But
yeah, well,
no.
the thing is that he's autistic. He's not schizophrenic.
No, I know, but I mean, because she never like interacts with anyone else. It's only with him. Even at the party they were at.
Yeah.
You know,
well, I mean, she's taking pictures of the stars.
Yeah,
and stuff.
I guess, but
so anyway, he crashes his scooter.
They usually ignore that crap anyway when they're taking pictures of him.
Yeah, he crashes his scooter and he like has like a little emotional breakdown after that. They show him like burning all of his memorabilia. He's like doing creepy things to stuff in his apartment. Like,
and that's a scene I just don't believe either.
He's got
don't believe that he would go and burn Hunter's memorabilia and then do what he does.
Well, I think that he did it because he was just really upset that he got called a stalker by Hunter.
It's true, and I agree with you there. But then what he does next?
Yeah, I mean, but like I said, he's like losing his mind. So Leah shows up and she's like kind of pissed off at Moose because she like shows him her phone, and so it turns out all these pictures that Moose
was taking of Mr. Hunter while he was passed out.
He posted it to social media. Yep, so he posted.
And again, this doesn't throw up any red flags.
Yeah, but so she's like, "What is wrong with you? You need to stop doing that." She's kind of scolding him. He doesn't like that, and he pushes her, like, because he's fighting back.
Yeah, and then he blocks her.
And he's like, "That's it, I'm blocking you from social media."
And they never say Facebook because they couldn't.
And then he like kicks her ass out of the apartment. He's like, "You need to get out. You need to get."
Yep. So they're apparently not friends anymore until
the next scene they're in.
Yeah, until the next scene. Then
they cut to another scene, and it shows Hunter asleep. Right, it's panning out slowly, and you see that there's like some paper towels stuffed into his mouth. And then they pan out even further, and it shows that he's like tied to his bed.
Yep.
And obviously he's like freaking out. He spits out the paper towels immediately, which good for him.
Finally ending that trope in movies where you just can't spit out the gag.
You just can't get that piece of cloth out your mouth.
It's like, damn it, just use your tongue.
So they show him look down, and he sees Moose laying on the ground, and there's like
blood.
Yeah, there's like blood by his head. So it looks like Moose tied his ass up and like blew his brains out. But so he starts freaking out, and then you see Moose like wake up, and he's
it's
like,
a gotcha moment. It's a gotcha moment. Moose
Dumbass.
is like, look at this. It's all fake.
And then like right away he like runs out and gets into his Jason mask and his onesie, and he's like coming with a big old knife and coming towards Hunter, and Hunter's like, no, what the fuck? And so it shows him stabbing
him with a fake knife.
I mean, you see that it does like poke him a little bit though.
Yeah, because it cuts his chest or something.
It does get him a little bit, but it's a fake knife, but he does get cut for
because doesn't he like taste his blood or something?
Yeah, he's like trying to check to make sure it's
oh no.
He's like, this is real bad.
I wonder if they accidentally really cut him or something, and they were like, oh,
maybe
shit. Like that Leonardo DiCaprio scene in
could be
that whatever movie that was.
What about that one where he broke his ankle?
Oh, Tom Cruise! Oh my god!
Tom Cruise breaking his dang ankle! Oh my god, that video
scene
is
brutal. It's brutal. But yeah, so
look it up on YouTube, kids.
Right?
It's great. So anyway, like Hunter's like freaking out. He's still talking shit though. Like,
yeah, he is. He's still talking like an asshole, even though this guy is obviously quite not with reality.
He's not all there.
No, not at all.
So then Moose goes to his little bag and he pulls out what looks like the gas tank that he was using to burn up all of his memorabilia, and he starts like dousing Hunter in this liquid that you think is gasoline.
So was that really gasoline?
I don't know, because they actually don't ever. I mean, he says that. Okay.
Yeah, it's not gasoline. Yeah,
he says it's not gasoline, but then later he says, "Oh, let's get out of this gasoline clothes."
Yeah. So again,
so he might have poured gasoline on him. Who knows? I mean, it did have gasoline in it when he was lighting his stuff on fire.
Yeah, if that happened.
I think it did happen. But anyway, so now that Hunter sees that this dude is like not going away, he's like, oh, maybe I should try to talk my way out of this. He starts
giving him acting lessons.
Well, okay, yeah.
Well, no,
he's like starting to woo him a little. He's like talking to him, and it's just very Misery style to me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It definitely was.
It's very Misery style. He's tied up to the bed. You don't know what's going to happen. I thought that he'd bring out a mallet and smash this dude's ankles. Who knows?
This isn't what happened last week. Have you all got amnesia? They just cheated us. This isn't fair. He didn't get out of the cock-a-doodie car.
Anyway, so it seemed might start to work, and then Hunter makes the mistake of saying, just don't hurt my kid. Just don't hurt my kid. And Moose do not like that.
That offends Moose a lot. He's like, why would I ever even
think
about doing something like that to a kid? Yeah.
And that's like, I don't know, you're in my home, you're like attacking me, I'm tied to the bed, I don't know what you're capable of.
And bringing up the son, so is the kid in the next room asleep?
They don't really say if he has the son right now anymore.
No,
because it was the last,
it's the next night.
It's like a different night. The movie's just so poorly written.
Yeah, so it would make sense that
I know we've mentioned that many times before. It's just really badly written. You don't know what's going on.
So I mean, it's definitely within Hunter's assumption that he's there to, do something bad.
Yeah. So anyway, Hunter's like, all right, let's try something else, and he's like,
going into the whole.
Have you ever heard of visualization, an acting technique? And he's like, what's that mean? And he's like, it's like your imagination, pal. So he's like, I want you to imagine all the cool stuff that we'll do together. He's like, I'll take you out. I'll autograph whatever you want. We'll go see a movie together.
He'll sign. And that's the one big promise that Moose is really into, is that he'll
autograph whatever he
anything.
wants. Yeah, anything.
Anything.
So he's like, yeah, because all that stuff online, that's some fake bullshit.
You are fake news. Go ahead.
So he's like, I need to make sure this is like the real deal.
And again, mention this too, like while he's doing the visualization, it's like he does go into his Moose
mind.
Is like in a whole. It's almost like the same dream world where he went in when in the book. I keep saying book signing. The movie place.
It was a book signing. Well, I mean, it wasn't really a book signing. It was an autograph session.
Whatever.
So he goes into this whole
memorabilia store. Yeah, it's like it's like fuzzy. It's kind of like red and fuzzy around him.
But it's not a dream. Yeah, it's really happening.
Yeah, I mean, he really is telling him all this stuff, and they really are sitting there. But then all of a sudden, it goes back to the dark of night when Hunter like headbutts the shit out of Moose, and he gets. I mean, I don't know how he got his hand loose.
Remember, while he's still in his dream world, visualizing.
That's when he gets out.
Moose unties one of his hands, and then he headbutts him. Uses the hand to grab he has a shotgun.
Yeah, just
on his wall.
And he instead of shooting Moose in the face like you would do somebody who came into your home and tied you up, he shoots all his fingers off on his right hand.
Aims at his hand, and he shoots his fingers off, and it's pretty.
It turns pretty gory after this, like oddly gory.
And it was like well done. I don't know, for like
it looked pretty realistic.
The shitty movie that we were watching, it looks pretty realistic. Yeah.
Yeah. So he starts beating the shit out of Moose. He throws him down the stairs. It looks really painful. Like he's really getting.
He blows off a couple rounds right next to
his
Moose's
ears. He pops his what are those called?
Eardrums.
Eardrums. I was gonna call them earbuds, but that's not a thing.
And then even with that, he's gonna finish him off. It looks like. And then he aims one more time and click. No more bullets
he's out
left.
of them bullets. So he
drops the gun. Yeah. And he pulls out a friggin' Rambo knife.
Okay, and so this part doesn't make sense to me.
None
okay,
at
so
all.
It's
so dumb.
So it gets really fucking gory.
Unnecessarily.
Unnecessarily. He's shot next to his ears, and then all of a sudden he takes this giant knife and stabs Moose in the eyeball.
In the eyeball, not in the chest to kill him, to get away from him.
Yeah, but you would think getting stabbed in the eyeball with that big-ass knife will kill you.
You would think,
I mean, it's your freaking...
he apparently just hit him enough to puncture his eye.
Yeah, so he stabs him in the eye, and it's, like, real fucked up. And, like, right as he does that, he, like, Hunter starts to realize, he's like, look, man, I'm not this person.
Yeah, and I don't know if maybe Hunter was visualizing himself in a movie at this point, if that's what they were trying to hint at.
But then he, like, snaps back to reality. Yeah. He's like, this isn't who I am.
But then even his next action makes no friggin' sense. So, yeah, he snaps back to reality, and what does he do?
He goes and gets something to wrap up Moose's fingers with, because, like I said, he snaps back to reality, and he's like, look, I'm not a killer. That's just me in movies.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a good person.
So, yeah, he gives him the towel to wrap up his...
He wraps up his hand
and then
he lets him go?
He opens up the front door, and Moose just walks out.
Like, what is that?
And then you would figure he's gonna go call the police.
Nope.
No.
So,
nope.
So they don't show what happens there immediately, but they show Moose walking down the street pretty injured. Like, he's bleeding all over the...
And then it's daytime. You gotta figure, the wounds he's suffered, he would probably have bled out by now.
I mean, did you get that t-shirt wrap around his fingers? That might have helped.
I mean, his eye injury, I don't know, but...
So they show him walking down the thing. There's these... two guys that are from a different place.
Yeah.
They're like, let's get a picture with the... I mean, they're speaking a different language, and they think that his makeup's really cool, when really he's just very morbidly injured.
Yeah, he's bleeding out. His fingers are gone. He's bleeding out his face. He's got blood everywhere, and these two guys just think he's, like, dressed up like a zombie walking down the street.
So they take their picture with him, and then all of a sudden, guess who's driving by? It's Leah.
Yeah, and she just stops in the middle of the street, gets out, helps him, makes
and then she's like,
having one eye.
She was like talking about how Moose was gonna make it through, and that Hunter's a survivor, but it's really Dora the maid. She's like, it's really Dora I'm worried about, who's like laying out in the back dead.
Yeah, and see,
they never explain how she knows or why how Leah knows about this at all.
We find out Hunter's fate, but again, the timing is all fucking wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. They go back to Hunter. He's like sitting at his door, like still even though it's been obviously clearly hours. So yeah, they go back to Hunter sitting at his door, just like still trying to like calm down from whatever the fuck just happened to him. And they show like the police knocking at his door, and he opens up the door and he's standing there, the police officer standing there with the gardener
that was dismissed during the rain early in the movie.
And then they just show Hunter being like calmly escorted out of his house in handcuffs, as if he's the one that just
killed the maid.
Yeah, which could easily be solved by doing any sort of investigation.
Yeah, because as soon as he said there was somebody breaking it, the first thing they would have did was take off that shirt covered in blood, put it in a plastic bag, and did a blood test on it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's easily going to get out of these charges, but they make you believe that he's gone to prison for a long time or some shit. But in my mind, Hunter gets free from this because he didn't do nothing wrong.
The thing that got me was back to when Leah comes out and she's helping him down the street, and while he's still bleeding, they're making jokes.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, what else are you supposed to do? I mean, he's got his eye stabbed out right now.
Because they're trying to look at one of the Hollywood stars Walk of Fame. It was, what's her name?
Yeah,
it was, from...
somebody, and he's like, she's a bad nurse.
Yeah, it's the Ratchet woman. The woman that played Nurse Ratchet in the original One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
I have no idea.
but it's just like, and he's like, I can't see it. And she's like, because you have to squint or something like that. And it's like, what? You're making eyeball jig?
Yeah, like, that's pretty insensitive.
This guy is bleeding to death. But
he's not
whatever.
Bleeding to death. He's got finger injuries and an eyeball injury. He's fine.
He had all his fingers cut. All right.
He wears it as a badge of honor, Tim.
Let's cut off all your fingers right now. And poke out one of your eyes. And just see how long you last.
Oh, you...
So this
Tim's
movie,
really upset about this film.
because there's so many like things you can just talk about and like inconsistencies with the story.
He's been really violently against this film.
Because it was all the bad hype you heard about it is all true.
Well, yeah.
It's just a bad movie. It's poorly written. It's poorly directed. John Travolta didn't do a bad job of
John
portraying...
Travolta was a shining star of that film
was.
For sure. Like, he did a really good job at playing that character.
I mean, even
outside of that, nothing was good.
Devon Sawa was good as
I
well.
don't buy his performance.
No,
as much as
well,
I
I
buy
mean,
John
again,
Travolta.
that was just a shitty character. It was
well,
like he played.
yeah, it was bad writing.
Yeah, he played like.
But it was bad acting too. I mean, he was always out of breath in the movie. Like, what's up with you, Devon Sawa? Why are you out of breath? You're obviously in good shape.
Know who he could play?
What?
He could play Corey Haim in a Corey Haim biopic.
Maybe. But anyway,
I
so
wonder if Corey
so
Feldman
did you
would
love
be in
it, Tim?
Yeah, this is probably one of the worst movies I've watched in
You
a
say it's
while.
the best film of 2019.
Probably it was up.
Oh
it was
my
up
God.
there, but
I remember reading all sorts of bad articles about it, and I was like, well, maybe it's not as bad as they're saying it is. No, it really is as bad as they said it was.
bad
It demonizes autistic people. It obviously demonizes victims of home break-ins and physical attacks.
It shows that people have no concept of what's going on around them at any time. I mean,
there was just no storytelling in the movie. Like, there's
like 4 scenes,
storytelling.
really. It's just like...
Maybe there was like a lot of cut scenes that would have made the film more...
and they would have been, whoa, that's over 2 hours.
Yeah.
We're over 2 hours in this. We gotta cut
So
out
I'll
a story.
give John Travolta like a B for this movie. I mean, I'll give him an A. I mean, I bought that character. Like, I really felt bad for him. Like,
The toupee was definitely an A.
Like, I just wanted him to get his damn autograph, but I also, like, made him into, like, they made him evil. It's like, I just think that it's ill-conceived.
Yeah, it wasn't like... I mean, you can understand, like, the actor's point of view of, like, somebody coming out getting an autograph, but it was just unrealistic of the way it was happening. The memorabilia place, him going out the back door, I mean, it's obviously an organized thing that was happening. So even if his wife did show up, I'm sure there would be somebody that would have walked out with him. Yeah.
No, but they don't really explain if he's like a D-list celebrity or what. I mean,
we have to assume that he is. We have to assume that he's Nicolas Cage.
You turn me on, brump. You turn me on, brump. You're not too tall, you're not too short, you're not too round, brump. You're like a cat, the cat in the hat. Ha ha!
Because he's literally wandering around without, like, any sort of security.
Yeah. And
and that's another thing. It's like the house that he lives in is a nice house. It's like a nice property. And there's just
only
no
had one
way...
bathroom, though.
There's just no fucking way he wouldn't have some sort of security cameras there. So,
or a lock on the back door.
Well, I mean, the door doesn't need to be locked if you kill the maid and go in the way she came.
I guess.
I mean, it's not like she locked the door when she was running out there in a panic to try and scare away this 6'3", like 250-pound man. Call the police. Nobody calls the police in these movies.
Nobody called the police. Like,
I just don't get it. Call the fucking.
And if Hunter had called the police immediately after being attacked by Moose in his house, they would have came there.
Would have been solved.
They would have probably found probably found the maid in the backyard dead at that point, and would have went, "Holy shit, he killed her too."
Yeah, I mean, because it makes it sound like the way that Leah, the narrator, ended the movie makes it seem like
Hunter went down for it.
Moose never gets in trouble.
No, yeah, because the animation little thing at the end shows them like happily ever after.
Oh yeah, that's another thing.
Yeah,
just
the weird animation.
They have these random like chalk animations throughout the movie.
Yeah, because the last one they show is Moose with the patch over his eye. He's got the hook, and he looks like he's dressed
he's like a pirate.
Yeah,
yeah,
like he lived on.
I don't know,
and we assume that Hunter went to prison, and he's sitting there going,
there's just no way. There's no way that he wouldn't have had some sort of security cameras on his property, and there's no way that he wouldn't have.
And even in
there's no way he would have let him out of the house.
That too, and in the neighborhood he was in, each one of those houses has
security
cameras, everywhere. Yeah.
And they'd be watching outside, like, looking for people to call the police on.
Yeah. So you just gotta assume this is, like, the Biscuit fantasy fan film.
Yeah, the writing. The writing!
The writing, the bad character development.
It's so bad.
The edits.
The complete lack of any background. It's just like, alright, well, there's these characters floating around doing whatever the hell they want.
Whatever they want.
And in this fantasy land, this is the way it is.
Yeah.
But okay, so that's that. And
Whatever.
I hated it.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was terrible.
Anyway, that is...
Fanatic. Well, The Fanatic.
Yes, you
The
can.
Fanatic. Starring John Travolta.
And Devon Sawa.
And the other people.
I'm like, man, that was my, teenage crush right there. And now it's over.
John Travolta or Devon Sawa?
Devon Sawa.
Whew.
But also maybe John Travolta. I mean, he's a good-looking man.
Maybe it's like Welcome Back Carter days. He got kind of...
I used to watch Grease on repeat, so...
Grease.
I liked his little chin dimple.
No, I'm gonna go on the unfavorable opinion. I actually like Grease too.
I love it. It's so...
It was. I used to watch that one all the time.
It's amazing. Anyway, so, that's a better film. Let's just remember John Travolta for that one. Anyway.
Or even Face Off.
You know what? Face Off is a winner, too.
Picture this movie.
Picture this!
Devon Sawa's character is played by Nick Cage.
I'm a vampire! 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 I'm a vampire!
That would have been theatrical. I think it would have been a theatrical.
I think it would have been so much better.
It would have been.
I just don't think that that those two should ever do a movie without each other again.
No, Face Off 2. It should be a thing. They could have cloned him.
Face Off 2.
Face Off 2. Let's do it. Hollywood, get it together.
All right.
Please.
Well, thank you for listening.
Thank you very much for listening to this review of the movie Fanatic. It was great. I recommend you going out and don't rent it. Buy it. Well, not that you can rent it anywhere anymore.
Yeah, that's not a thing anymore, Tim.
Nope.
Anyway.
Nope. All right. This is Tim.
This is Rebecca.
And we're signing off as
The
the
Shitty
Shitty Movie
Movie
Reviewers.
Reviewers.
Bye-bye.
Woo-hoo!